Beautiful Lagos, hey. Land of mercy, land of success, oh. For Lagos, everything is done change, oh. I say Governor Body is doing a great job, oh. Street lights all over Lagos, oh. He's bringing out the beauty in Lagos, oh.
Hello and welcome to Lagos This Week, a program that showcases the activities of Governor Akinwumi Ambode, members of his cabinet, and development partners at home and abroad. I'm Funke Adesoji. In tonight's program, the Lagos State government gives account of its internally generated revenue for the first quarter of year 2018 to be 103.476 billion naira as against 96.7 billion naira recorded in the previous year, and that is 81% of the total revenue of 141 billion naira generated in the quarter. It has also saved a total of 4.5 billion naira in the last 3 years as a result of the decision of Governor Akinwumi Ambode to stop the sponsorship of people for religious pilgrimages. These and other stories in a moment.
What kind of food is this? You this woman!
My husband like to chop food with sweets. You know won't bring money, oh. If I cook the food, does the money reach? Hey. See me see wahala.
My own husband no say food was sweet. Na money kill am. Na plenty money I dey take go market to cook better chop. But today, Ishonde, rishi we dey take chop oh. My darling no say food was sweet oh. Na money kill am oh.
Yes, so now true word you talk to my sister. Food way sweet na money kill am. This na why Lagos State government they call every businessman and woman, plus including all workers for Lagos State, to join hand with our Dokunadu governor Akinwumi Ambode to continue to share all these better things when we dey see so by paying your tax quick and all the time. People of Lagos State, una dey see the good work wey Governor Akinwumi Ambode don bracket everywhere for Lagos. Yes, now because he dey use the tax money wey some of us wey understand dey pay. Therefore, if everybody join hand with am and pay our tax, money go boku to make Lagos State great and life go sweet for we all as we want am. Abeg, make we pay our tax today because food wey sweet na money kill am o.
Welcome back. The Lagos State government says its internally generated revenue for the first quarter of year 2018 stood at 103.476 billion naira as against 96.7 billion naira recorded in the previous year, thereby accounting for 81% of the total revenue of 141 billion naira generated in the quarter. Commissioner for Economic Planning and Budget, Segun Banjo, disclosed this during the annual ministerial press briefing in Alausa that the record so far shows the performance of the state's year 2018 budget of 1.046 trillion naira was heading in the right direction. Giving a breakdown of the figures, the commissioner said the budget performance for the first quarter has a pro rata size of 261.530 billion naira, and in absolute term it had performed 163.491 billion naira compared with 120.206 billion naira reported for the same period in year 2017. In terms of revenue generation, Mr. Bajo said that the sum of 141 billion naira, that is 63%, was generated as total revenue against 124.141 billion naira, that is 77%, achieved in 2017. Adding that this year's performance was 17.816 billion naira higher than the previous year's performance in absolute terms.
In terms of revenue and budget performance, we are looking, we want to continue to improve on the ratio between the capital expenditure and recurrent expenditure. We have seen the trend from 2016 down to 2017 and down to the first quarter of 2018. We intend to keep that trend, and at the end of the day, we want to achieve our 67 times 3, which is 67 in terms of capital and times 3 in terms of recurrent expenditure.
He, however, noted that 84 billion naira generated by LIRS was excluding revenue from land use charge, noting that it was from the strict application of taxes from pay as you earn, withholding taxes, direct assessment, and other taxes.
Structure has also been improving in Lagos State. The Alimosho roads are there. The airport road is there. Apart from, in addition to other roads, go to Alakpere, go to Penn Cinema. In fact, someone asked us the question, one of our forums said, don't you think your projects are too many? I said, Lagos need as many as it could. Because Lagos is all about infrastructure. Because without infrastructure, we can't do business here. We are talking about our embedded power project, which is very critical to businesses in Lagos State. These are the signposts.
The commissioner added that the present administration had already fashioned out strategies to ensure prompt delivery of critical projects this year.
It's bringing out the beauty in Lagos.
The Lagos State government says it has saved a total of 4.5 billion naira in the last 3 years as a result of the decision of Governor Akinwumi Ambode to stop the sponsorship of people for religious pilgrimages. Commissioner for Home Affairs, Dr. Abdulhakeem Abdulateef, disclosed this. He said funds saved from the development had been diverted into infrastructure development to make life easier for residents. Speaking on the land use charge, the commissioner warned some property owners who were now converting their residential buildings into religious centers in order to avoid paying the land use charge.
In any residential premises, you are subject to land use charge. So when they come, don't say that on the ground floor there is a mosque. Don't claim there's a mosque on the ground floor. Always know that as soon as it is declared a residential block, you will pay land use charge. So then secondly is that we are working with the Ministry of Physical Planning. It is a violation of the state regulation for buildings. When a building is approved for a purpose, it is an aberration for you to now convert it to something else without the approval of the Ministry of Physical Planning.
On noise pollution, Mr. Abdulateef said the ministry had been working in concert with the Lagos State Environmental Protection Agency, LASEPA, to address the menace, especially through engagement with religious leaders.
Whenever there is any report, and that goes to the other question, anywhere you find out that you cannot sleep well, just let us know in Home Affairs. NIREC will invite them, because what His Excellency does is not about enforcement really, but about engagement. When we engage people, we're able to sit down with them. We get a lot of results, more than just charging them to court or taking or, sealing their premises. So we have worked effectively through NIREC to ensuring that those ones who are creating nuisance in their environment, are called to order.
While reeling out achievements of the ministry in the last 1 year, he said through deliberate policies, the government was able to record high level of unprecedented peace and harmonious relationship among diverse groups.
It's bringing out the beauty in Lagos.
The Lagos State government said it has attracted investment proposals approximately worth $43 billion in the last 3 years, owing to deliberate policies put in place to promote investment and enhance ease of doing business. Speaking at the annual ministerial press briefing in Alausa, Special Advisor to the Governor on Overseas Affairs and Investment, Professor Ademola Abbas, said it was gratifying to report that some of the proposals have been transformed into actual investments in the state. Overseas Affairs and Investment, otherwise known as Lagos Global, is a one-stop shop established by the present administration in the state to manage overseas affairs and implement policies to attract and promote investment in the state. Giving account of stewardship, Mr. Abbas said within the last 3 years, Lagos State has received massive investment proposals.
Within the 3 years of Mr. Akinwumi Ambode-led administration, Lagos State has received investment proposals approximately worth $43 billion. Now, mark my word, investment proposals. I have not said we have brought in $43 billion investment. Following the vigorous pursuit of measures geared towards enhancing the ease of doing business, investors have shown considerable interest in tapping into the investment opportunities that are abundant in the state. Since its creation, Lagos Global has inspired investors' confidence in Lagos as a place to conduct business and living, and that has translated to considerable success. This points to the fact that Lagos, as an emerging market, is becoming the financial hub and a preferred investment destination in Africa. At this juncture, I wish to commend the vision of His Excellency, the Governor of Lagos State, Mr. Akinwumi Ambode, for giving premium to investment in the state by creating the Office of Overseas Affairs and Investment as a one-stop shop for investors.
He said in the bid to grow the economy of Lagos, the present administration also identified key areas critical to growing the gross domestic product (GDP) of the state, including power, agriculture, transportation, health, tourism, housing, information technology, and manufacturing.
Lagos to the world is a specific strategy to better communicate what we are doing in Lagos State, not just Lagos Global, but Lagos Global is going to champion that simply because we deal with overseas affairs. That's why I said, to be clear, Lagos to the World campaign has nothing to do with the branding or anything of sort. It is a well-pointed strategy aimed at better communicating what the state has got to offer investors worldwide, as well as laying out the benefits that await investors who choose Lagos State as their destination.
Reeling out other responsibilities of the office, the special advisor said Lagos Global further helps existing investors by providing aftercare services as well as ensure the provision of necessary business support services.
It's bringing out the beauty in Lagos.
Lagos State Commissioner for Youth and Social Development, Agbola Dabiri, has decried the rate of drug abuse and other social vices among youth. He said it was a menace which had become a cankerworm, vowing, however, that the state government was ready to tackle and fight it to a standstill. Dabiri, who spoke at the ongoing annual ministerial briefing in Alausa, said that drug abuse among the youth had gone beyond the conventional use of marijuana and cigarette smoking. Dabiri said that the state government would intensify efforts on various opportunities for the youth, which include job creation, leadership and vocational training, among others.
We had leadership training for them to prepare their minds towards employment, to prepare their minds towards thinking outside the box. The leadership training is to prepare you to comport yourself, to be disciplined. Number two, the vocational jobs I mentioned during my speech, numerous for them. Number three, also, during the trainings we've had in the past, and we're still going to have, we involved the Lagos State LSTF for funds.
According to him, the state government in 2016 developed and launched the State Youth Policy, a document guarding the conduct and affairs of youth in the state. He said that the government, to address the upsurge of youth unemployment, trained a total of 13,314 youth in various vocations. And the ministry had also commenced the implementation of the Youth Economic Empowerment Scheme, where a total number of 900 youth were expected to be trained in various vocations over a 9-month period. Dabiri said 150 reported cases of sexual and physical abuse were treated, while with the introduction of the state safeguarding and child protection policy, more students and pupils were encouraged to report cases of abuse.
Of unemployment among the youth in the state, a total of 13,314 youths were trained in various vocations, ranging from makeover and guillotine, photography, tailoring, beads making, cosmetology, arts and designing, GSM repairs, child care training, computer training, literacy and engineering, shoemaking, agricultural export business, electrical generation through solar energy, just to mention a few.
On rehabilitation services, he said that 1,680 beggars, destitute and mentally challenged persons and street children were rescued off the streets, out of which 1,299 rehabilitated were released to their relations for reintegration.
It's bringing out the beauty in Lagos.
You're watching Lagos This Week. We'll be back shortly.
What kind of food is this? You this woman!
My husband like to chop food with sweets. He no one bring money, oh. If I cook the food, that's the money reach. Hey, see me see wahala.
My own husband no say food was sweet. Na money kill am, na plenty money I dey take go market to cook better chop. But today, Ishonde, rishi we dey take chop oh. My My darling, no say food way sweet oh. Na money kill am oh.
Yes, so now true what you talk to my sister. Food way sweet na money kill am. This na why Lagos State government they call every businessman and woman, plus including all workers for Lagos State, to join hand with our Dokunadu governor Akinwumi Ambode to continue to share all these better things when we dey see so by paying your tax quick and all the time. People of Lagos State, una dey see the good work when Governor Akinwumi Ambode don bracket everywhere for Lagos. Yes, now because he dey use the tax money wey some of us wey understand dey pay. Therefore, if everybody join hand with am and pay our tax, money go boku to make Lagos State great and life go sweet for we all as we want am. Abeg, make we pay our tax today because food wey sweet na money kill am o.
Welcome back. Now, the Lagos State government has emphasized the importance of information management for positive perception of the state government's program, hence the need to train its civil servants in this regard. Speaking at the training for this purpose, Commissioner for Establishment, Training and Pensions, Dr. Benson Akitola Oke, spoke on the advantages of this training. The Commissioner said training the civil servants is an asset for development and growth, which is the focal point of the state.
The programs and policies, you must continue to train your workforce. Because if you are saying you want to move from a mega city to a smart city, that shows that what is obtainable in the advanced democracy of the world, you are trying to replicate them back to your own climb. But you have to do it with minor cultural adjustment that will suit the specificities of Lagos State. In doing that, you have to process what I call the information management, you have to process the policies, you have to process the program so that they can do it very well.
According to the Commissioner, when civil servants are well equipped to discharge their tax, programs of government will be positively perceived by the populace, thereby receiving the needed support for their success.
The best, when it comes to the Federal Republic of Nigeria, they are the best engine room. In the Federal Republic of Nigeria, they are the best in Africa, one of the best in the world. So the governor has mandated us to keep on retraining so that one, we can ensure effective and efficient service delivery. Two, so that the product can cope effectively with their counterparts all over the world.
Some of the participants spoke on the benefit of training like this.
It essentially gives the capacity to the civil servants who are dealing with these on an ongoing basis to look at stakeholders and ensure that the stakeholders are on board and that everybody is pulling in the right direction. That way, you will have impact.
What the governor expects of us in our various MDAs is for us to get back to the offices, know what we're taught here and put it into practice so that we can have a better Lagos and we have better people working in our various MDAs.
Whatever government is doing, if you don't go out to blow it open, the populace may not know. Especially this administration in Lagos State, what it's doing, we need to make the population know about it so that they can further lend their support and know where they can as well benefit.
As we are public affairs officer, it is our duty to project the image of the Lagos State government, and this is one of the laudable training that we have been vying for, and this has taught me personally how to communicate effectively more with the public.
The focus is building an enduring policy clearly understood by the populace through an effective information management.
It's bringing out the beauty in Lagos.
Lagos State government says it will abide by any decision reached between the federal government and Labour through the tripartite committee on the review of the national minimum wage. Head of Service Lagos State, Folashade Adesoye, who spoke after a meeting held in Alawusa Ikeja, said the Lagos State government is all about the welfare of its workers. According to the committee, 3 approaches have been used in reviewing the minimum wage, namely comparative analysis based on minimum wages in some African countries, an estimate of the monthly minimum cost of providing basic needs to a family of 6 and 2 dependents, and rising cost of living over time. Based on these approaches and the independent study report, Labour demands for a new monthly national wage of 66,500 naira, which is approximately the average of the implied minimum wages derived under the approaches used.
Discussion, minimum wage. We have to galvanize the public to give their own input for government to be able to take decisions in the subject matter.
Since we had an increase in the prices of, in dollar. The last minimum wage of 2011, a dollar was 150 naira, now 364. So either we like it or not, at least we must be going with the economic realities. So there's every need for an increase in minimum wage.
Wage should be improved and should be increased. When you look at the school fees now, it's so exorbitantly high. And since the government has increased the price of petrol from 86 naira to 145 naira, everything has gone up. And the government needs to do the needful to make sure that the people are happy, people are not by increasing the minimum wage to 66,500 naira at least.
The head of service, Lagos State, said the State Civil Service Commission will abide with any decision reached by the tripartite committee.
We have listened to so many submissions, which the committee will go back to consider. So for Lagos State, we are waiting for the results, the report from the committee, and that is the position of Lagos State.
It will be recalled that the national minimum wage was last reviewed 7 years ago, in spite of the provisions that recommended its review every 5 years.
It's bringing out the beauty in Lagos.
Finally on the program, Lagos State Governor Akinwumi Ambode has unveiled a new statue of the legal luminary Gani Fawemi at the Liberty Park in Ojota. He said the 44-feet edifice symbolizes the phenomenon that the right activist represented in his lifetime. The unveiling of the statue is in commemoration of the 80th posthumous birthday of one of the foremost lawyers in Nigeria. The governor said the gesture was an affirmation of his administration's commitment to celebrate personalities whose actions have helped to define the fortune and spirit of Lagos State positively over the years. The governor, who was represented by the deputy governor, Dr. Oluronti Adebule, said his administration is committed to advancing human rights and upholding of social justice at all times.
Our administration places a premium on the promotion of social events which have impacted on our history and culture and helped to define our lives. We are therefore emphasizing the relevance of the personal sacrifices made by Chief Gani Fawemi in leading the struggle for attainment of human rights and dignity, especially under the military regimes.
What we have done with the Awolowo, the new Awolowo statue, what we have done with the statue in honor of Fela, and you saw how the families of those great icons, the Awolowo family, the Fela Anikulapo Kuti family, rose to the occasion and supported the initiative. It is the same thing that we have done with the Gani Fawemi statue. And the family is proud. They are very appreciative. They are grateful that the governor, has thought it wise, to do this.
So when we learned that this would be his 80th posthumous birthday, we decided to say, look, let us make sure that this is delayed to coincide with this birthday, because nothing short of great honor is due to this great man. He was a legal colossus in the legal profession and in the human rights movement.
Responding on behalf of the family, the son of the late activist, Mohammed Fawemi, thanked the state government and Governor Ambode, saying that apart from being a befitting representation to the legacies of their patriarch, the statue would place their father's name on the global map. In his goodwill message, right activist and senior advocate of Nigeria, SAN, Femi Falana, described the statue as one of the best in the country. On his part, National Secretary of National Conscious Party, NCP, Comrade Ayodele Akele, said the edifice was a wonderful 80th posthumous birthday gift to the family and associates of the late activist. The Nigerian Labour Congress, NLC, represented by the Deputy National President, Comrade Issa Aremu, also appreciated the state government for the statue, saying it was well deserved. Dr. Joe Dumakin was also satisfied with the government's gesture.
I now believe that the ideals of a man can be followed by a nation. Lagos State has set the pace. By doing this, is the first governor in the history of Nigeria since we got independence to do something this gigantic.
We want to thank the Lagos State government for the investment in this edifice we can assure you that many Nigerians who enter Lagos, or everybody who enters Lagos through this route, we want to find out who is here. And every day we are going to teach lessons about Gani Fawemi. Thank you very much.
Up to 2003, effectively only about 3 political parties were allowed to register. But Chief Gani went to court and got Supreme Court judgment, which now dismantled the monopoly of INEC to register on the registered parties. And today, when we are recording the success of Nigeria with regards to right to political formation, everybody will accord special role to Chief Gani Fawemi.
I want to just finally say that for doing this to the family of Gani Fawemi, me, Ayodele Akere, National Conscience Party, and all its associates across the world, including the diaspora, I say a big thank you to the government of Ambode. The greatest befitting memorial we can give to this man of the people, a dogged fighter, deeply spiritual, a family man, committed. He believed in education, he believed in due process, he believed in rule of law, he believed in equality, he believed in justice, he believed in equity.
The event was attended by members of the human rights movement and Fawemi's family, including his widow, Ganiyat Fawemi.
He's bringing out the beauty in Lagos.
And this is how we wrap up tonight's episode of the program, Lagos This Week. Thanks for watching. I'm Funke Adesoji. Good night.
Land of mercy, land of success. For Lagos, everything is done change. I say Governor Body is doing a great job. Street lights all over Lagos.